This is a quick video on how to use the ultrasound machine at Forbes. Now, at first, when you take a look at this machine, it can look really complicated. There are lots of buttons and knobs, and so to simplify things, we're just going to get rid of the keyboard. And I just want you to focus on this bottom area. The first thing we're going to talk about are these knobs. And these are probably the two most important things on the machine because they impact the quality of your image. The one here on the right is your depth button. And so if you turn it to the clockwise or counterclockwise, you're going to either increase or decrease your depth. I've been using this machine for over a year now. I'm not sure which one is which. I just turn it one direction, see if it gets the image better. If it doesn't, then I turn it the opposite. On the gain button here, this affects your brightness. And so if you turn the knob clockwise, it's going to make your gain brighter or your picture brighter. If you turn it counterclockwise, it does the opposite, it makes it darker. You can press this auto button, which has the machine try to pick what it thinks is the best brightness on your images. But these two here impact your depth and your gain or your brightness and how clearly you can see the images. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how to actually turn on the machine. And that's this button here in the upper left-hand corner. Now, hopefully the machine is already on. You shouldn't have to use this, but it is always helpful to know how to turn the machine on. Now, hopefully from a different video, you will go over how to put in patient information, and that always starts with the patient tab. Now, we're not going to go into details how to get information from the work list, but what's good about the patient tab is that it's a nice geographic locator on where your exam button is, which is the next thing I want to go over. If you press exam, it's going to give you an option of 3 probes. And once you press that button, you're going to get to this screen. And again, this is a complicated screen. There's a lot of options. These are all presets, but for the novice or beginner, I just want you to focus on these 3 things. You can pick from 1 of 3 probes. You can have a linear probe, which will be good for soft tissue ultrasound, good for musculoskeletal, it's good for vascular access. It has a high frequency, low wavelength, so anything that's close to the skin, that's the probe of choice. The curvilinear probe, as illustrated here, is good for the abdomen. And so if you need to go deep into the body, like a fast exam, gallbladder, AAA, this is your probe of choice. Finally, the phased array really is only necessary for cardiac ultrasound or echo. Another way to choose each probes is that you can press either F7, F8, or F9, depending on which probe you want to use. At Forbes, F7 is the curvilinear probe, F8 is the linear probe, and F9 is the phased array. Once you have that information, the next thing you're going to want to do is actually save your images. And it's located in the bottom right-hand side of the screen right here. Basically what you do is you press that button, and then for the next 4 seconds, the ultrasound is going to save. So this video was hopefully able to illustrate how to turn it on, what the various buttons do, how to make your images brighter, darker, how to increase or decrease your depth. And from here, without even generating a work list or even putting on patient information, you should be able to use the machine.